and welcome to another episode of Talk Tea with Dee. This is going to be a special episode. It's just going to be me and my guest talking for a little bit about all the things that we love. This is Christina, who is the Bravo Babe on Instagram and TikTok. You'll know the Bravo Babe if you follow any sort of Bravo bloggers, because she is right there in the mix all the time with the Bravo tea. So we both have Instagram fan pages for Bravo. So that's what brought us together, and so much more.
Yes, we
So
always
much
have a
comment.
lot to talk about.
I know, we're always gossiping behind the scenes. If you guys, anyone ever can hack into either my Instagram or your moms are watching or the Bravo Babe and look at our chat, you're gonna find so much juicy stuff. Like, for real,
We sit on a lot of information.
we sit on a lot of stuff because we're scared to release it, or we don't want to get in trouble, or people have asked us to keep it secret, which is the worst. Like,
Right?
100%, if you ask me to keep something secret, I'm telling Christina. So
Yes,
yeah.
we play the long game, you know?
We're playing the London. We're playing like in 10 years, we're gonna write books and like spill it all. But for right
It'll
now,
be just our DMs, just a transcript.
yeah. I remember when you don't even probably remember this, but there was a account on Instagram called Girl Gangs, and this woman like would
Mhm.
expose all these bloggers, and then everyone thought she faked a pregnancy, and she sold her page to this girl Brooke from Jasper. And Brooke
Yes.
went into her DMs and found like the juiciest stuff because people would send her information. And so she was just having
Right.
a field day. She found these DMs between Girl Gangs and Lala about Randall. I remember
Oh,
that.
see, I never knew that. I knew about the page, transfer of pages,
Right.
but I never knew about the tea.
Well, Lala, Girl Gangs was the one that broke the story that Lala was being cheated on. She had someone sent her a picture of Randall going
Randall.
to a
Mhm.
hotel room with two girls, and that was how everything. And so obviously Lala reached out to her and was like, "What's going on?" And Girl Gangs was like, "I have these photos." And so they started talking about Randall back and forth, and it was this crazy, crazy stuff that Lala was telling her, and it was
Oh,
all
wow.
it was all in these DMs. And so when Jasper or Brooke got a hold of those, she sent them actually to Randall. Did you know that?
I
Yeah.
did not know that.
She tried
That's
to sell she
messy.
tried to sell them to Randall, but then Randall wouldn't pay, and then she just ended up giving them. I know, it's the craziest thing. I guess she was just at the time Team Randall, although who could be Team Randall ever in your life?
Right. I mean, she must have really disliked Lala to even
Right.
consider not selling them, but even showing him.
It's so hard when you're a blogger. You can relate to this about like people that are your favorites or people you like and people that you don't want to say mean things about, but then they do
Mhm.
bad things and you're like, damn, I've been riding hard for you for years on this page. I think it's one
Yep.
of the hardest things. Like, you take it personally, especially when they reach out to you and they're nice to
Mhm.
you, and then you're like, yeah, but the thing you did
That's how I felt with James Kennedy. I rode so hard for James. I ignored rumors. I was on the wrong side. And then all these things come out, and it's like, well, I regret riding so hard for you.
I mean, it happens the reverse too, though. Like, you can like hate somebody for years, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, maybe they're not, they're not that bad. I don't know. I mean,
Mhm.
you're famous for your feud with Tamara Judge,
Yes.
which
Who was
is,
my favorite, and I rode for her for years.
I know. And I tried to get in the middle of that whole thing and and like, I told Tamara I was going to get you to make up with her, and I told you, okay, so Tamara's ready for your apology, and you were like, actually.
Actually, I'm not going to do that.
Terrible, you guys. It's terrible what a team we are. Like, come on, you're never. And then we always get our revenge in the end, and then we just laugh about it. And I wish that we could just scream from the rooftops the stuff we've done to get revenge on people on here, but we can't because we are like moms and we're real people and we don't want to be ostracized from the community. But you seriously should not probably mess with either one of us, I would say.
No, because even if it doesn't, we're a team, pages might not even know, but we are a team.
No, you have to find someone. I feel like in the blogger universe, you have to find someone that you trust, that you can just ride or die with, because
Mhm.
there are way too many backstabbing bitches on these pages.
There
I
is.
don't trust
There is.
anybody, and I can't keep a secret to save my life. So if I could just tell Christina, then at least I feel like I told someone, and then
Right.
I
And
don't feel
it stops here.
right,
Right.
right, and that compulsion. And you've never screwed me over, but I swear, even if you did, I'd be like, okay, it's part of the game, you know.
No tea is that big, I swear.
I remember when I'm friends with Eliza from Face Reality. She's really nice, you know her.
Mhm.
She came to
Yes.
my like Bravo camp party, and she's super nice. And I remember I was chatting with Lisa Rinna, and Lisa Rinna said to me, like, you know, that page Face Reality, like, can I trust her? And I'm like, absolutely, she's the sweetest. And like the next day, Eliza posted DMs with her and Lisa Rinna. Well, I mean, she is the sweetest, and Lisa Rinna is a villain, so I'm not blaming her, but I'm just saying I
Right.
vouched for her, and I was like, just like with Tamara with you, I'm like, no, you don't understand. Christina's really nice. Like, she'll totally understand, and she will say sorry, and this is all misunderstanding, and you're all good. And then you were like, no. The same with
It's one of
Eliza.
those things. Yeah, your heart was in the right place.
Like, you're on the right side of things, and I'm back here like, oh no, you can trust her. Like, I've given up though, by the way. Like, my days of like riding hard for any Bravo Lab are so in the past, because I trust nobody. I think they're all out for themselves. I think every Bravo Lab is so selfish. I mean, even the nice ones have to be selfish, right? I mean, they probably have how many bloggers writing them daily.
Right.
There's no way anyone has your back. There's no way.
No, they have a copy and paste response. I'm sure they just go through their DMs, copy paste. Thank you with a heart. You know, they don't actually.
I know. Have you gotten a singing telegram from Brittany yet for Salt Lake City?
Okay, I got a good morning singing voice note. So I just responded to her story and said, LOL, hey girl. And she sent me a good morning melody, if you will.
You guys, how can we not ride hard for a Bravo Lab who sings to us? I mean, this woman, I swear to you, and I get why she's annoying to people because she tries too hard. I get it. And, you know, she's musical theater, and musical theater people are annoying. And I say this with love because my husband's a musical theater person, but they can't be more annoying, right? Like, just like singing in the middle of like a shopping mall.
Right.
Like that.
Did you see the point of view from her daughter? Her daughter posted her point of view of Brittany on the escalator singing
Right.
Wicked. So then her daughter posted, this is what my mom looks like when she does these things. And it's actually hilarious. It's like campy. Like, you have to like her.
I mean, I don't understand. Do you want a boring housewife? Do you want someone that just sits there and like toes the line and doesn't do anything iconic? I love Brittany.
Right. It's
but
unique.
But I am not saying that Brittany's not going to break our hearts in a million pieces like 40 times in the next season. You know she will. First of all, she'll stab both of us in the back in 2 seconds if she could. And second of all, she's going to do like 7 cringe things this season that are going to make us go like, I'm sorry, I rode hard for you, but you sang to me.
Right. And it's like the Jared Osmond of it. Like, you always have to remember that she has that little thing in her brain that's like not all there to still be with Jared after he trashed her last season.
I wonder. So you've heard obviously all the tea about Salt Lake City. I mean, it sounds like another amazing season coming up because there's people fighting. There's
right, and
one's going to go hard for Bronwyn, obviously, because she has a checkered past. Let's say,
yeah.
So he's in trouble. And who else do you think they're going to go for this season?
Meredith. I think it's a Meredith. So, I mean, there was the rumors that filming was temporarily stopped while they had a mini little investigation into what happened with Meredith and Brittany. There's been some reports saying that's completely false. And then there's been the tea that I'm hearing is no, that actually happened. So we'll have to see how it plays out. But I think they come hard for Meredith this season.
Well, yes. I mean, they obviously bring up that Seth had an affair allegedly on camera, and that's never going to go over well, especially not.
Right.
There are some housewives that might lean into that storyline, and Meredith is not one of them.
No, she's not.
Thinking with that rumor that where there's smoke, there's fire, right? That's been around for so long, that he had a whole mistress in Ohio, that he cheats. But the front that they put on Instagram and on the show is so lovey-dovey. It's kind of crazy. I have no idea what to believe.
No, it's as fake as her Facetune. Like, it really is.
I'm obsessed with her Facetune. Like, who are kidding? I mean, seriously.
It's like her and Nene. I think Facetune even has commented on their photos before, like the actual account. So
I'm low-key obsessed with Meredith because I feel like she's a hard nut to crack. Like, she does not DM, right? Like, you've never gotten a DM from Meredith.
No.
So she does not engage with us, which of course makes us love her more, like the boy that doesn't pay attention to you in high school. And I feel like she's an enigma. They wanted to hire her on the cruise that I'm hosting next year, the Housewife Cruise. They wanted to hire Meredith, and it's still up in the air because we still need one more housewife. So it could be her. And I was so excited because I thought, okay, 5 days at sea, I will crack Meredith. Like, I will get her.
Yes.
I want to know like what's real, what's not real. You would think that as a host of the cruise, I would see some behind the scenes stuff, like
something, right?
I will be there for her when she has a breakdown. I will not share that with anyone but you. I want to hear all about Seth's affairs. I want to hear like how heartbroken she is, like how we can get revenge on him. I don't know. I have this
Mhm.
feeling if she comes on the cruise that that's going to be juicy, but I don't know. They were thinking about Crystal. They were thinking about there's a lot that they're
There's a
Whitney.
lot. Whitney, I thought you had mentioned, yes.
Whitney because Marge is going on the cruise and Marge wanted Whitney. They're like good friends, I guess. And she
Oh,
wanted
that's
her.
random.
But the people booking the cruise didn't know Whitney, and she doesn't have a huge following, relatively speaking, on Instagram, which is all the cruise really cares about. It's like somebody that has a big social media. So I'm not sure, but I was voting for Whitney because I think an active housewife would be valuable because Marge is not active right now. Taylor,
Mhm.
who's going on the cruise, is not active right now. So I'm like, how many ex-housewives is it the ex?
Right, because you don't want to call it the ex-housewives cruise. You want it to
We have
be
Cynthia, who is definitely a housewife right now. We have Cynthia, so she's great.
Cynthia's just Bravo, like the network. Cynthia
Right.
is Bravo.
We have Cynthia and Phaedra for sure on the cruise, and they're active housewives, so that's good. But I was just voting for somebody that, and Crystal, who I think is would probably be really lovely on a cruise. Not
She
dramatic.
looks like she has fun.
Right. I think she'd be great, but again, not a housewife right now. Although I feel like
Mhm.
they're thinking about bringing her back on Beverly Hills. I don't know.
Oh, that would be fun. I was always a Crystal fan. I thought that she was real. I thought that the story with her brother always had some legs that we could have listened to more of because he's huge overseas. Like he is major.
I know. He's
So
like
I
a
thought there was
bona
a lot
fide
more.
pop star. Like
Yeah.
talk about the girl on White Lotus, like that's the male version, not as much as her, but I'm just saying, like they love him.
Right.
I like Crystal, and I got along with her like on DM because we have mutual friends in Hollywood. But she was a little boring. So I would hope that if they did bring her back, it would be kind of like the I hate to say this, but they did tell Dorit to bring it, and she did, as annoying as it
True.
was. So maybe if they tell someone like, look, we'll give you 600 grand a season or 800 grand or whatever Crystal's up to now, but you're gonna
Mhm.
have to bring shit.
You have to amp it up.
Yeah. And
Speaking of Dorit, do you think that she is the only one who has signed her Beverly Hills contract, given she's the only one who has signed on for BravoCon so far?
no, I just think they haven't mentioned. I think people haven't signed contracts yet to go to BravoCon, but I think they will. I think we'll see a couple more. I think Erica will be there. Erica was at the upfronts. I think
The
she'll be.
upfronts, right?
I mean, they literally left off Summer House and Southern Charm. So, and we know those people will be there. So I don't
Mhm.
think that list is indicative of absolutely who's going. I think we'll get some more Beverly Hills. I don't think Sutton needs BravoCon, nor will she probably go.
No,
I wish she
I
would.
could
That's another
see
one that I think is an enigma that I want to crack. Like,
she
Sutton,
is.
who are you?
She is a mystery, and the wealth that she supposedly has coming in monthly or however that works is excessive. Like, I want to know what she does with it.
I would never forget. I have a sister who married the best man at my other sister's wedding, who was literally like a nobody, like didn't make money, was just like maybe like one of those guys behind the counter at like Hertz Rent a Car. When you go to rent a car, that was the guy she married. And years later, he like runs Hertz Rent a Car now or something. I mean, I'm not kidding. He's very high up. And I never forget, I saw her in San Diego at like one of her homes, right? And I was like, oh my God, your
Mhm.
husband makes so much money. And she was like, yeah, well, at this point, he's making like, I don't, and I think she said something like 700,000, right? Which is not even that much, right? But it, for me,
When
to
you were a
me,
counter kit, yeah.
and for us, we grew up really poor. I was freaking out over the amount, 700,000. And then she said to me, yeah, so, 700,000 a year. And I just like stopped and I was like, wait, what? Gets it every year. So
Every year.
I was like completely shocked by this whole revelation, and I was trying to figure that out. And it's the same with the housewives. Like Kyle's making 1.2 million a season.
That's insane.
It's so much money. So I think when we talk about who was leaving and who would come back, like they're all coming back if they can for that amount of money.
Absolutely. There's no way.
But the problem with Bravo is that they're cheap and they never want to pay all that. They don't want to pay these humongous salaries. So they're always trying to find ways, like with Roni. I think they're looking for new people because it's like, why should we pay a lot? Not that Roni Cast is making a lot. They're only up to season 3, but they're
Right.
like, we don't want to pay full salaries. We want to give like a starter salary. And then also,
And when you look at the ratings, right.
right. And also the show is annoying. But with Jersey, I think one of the biggest things with Jersey coming back is they're not going to pay.
Absolutely not.
Melissa, Marge. So I would be really interested. And I heard Jersey is like far, far from production. Like we're not even
I
talking.
That's what I've heard. And I've heard Melissa is doing the wife swap show that was announced. I just think that it's not even on their radar right now. I think that the cast knows that it's kind of just dead in the water. Teresa did Gia, her daughter's podcast a couple days ago, and just the way she was talking about not just the cast, but like the show in general, she seems so detached from it. I don't doubt that she would go back if offered, but right now it just sounds like she's very detached from it.
I know everybody just kind of has to move on because they haven't heard anything. They haven't heard either way, but it's like, well, they have to get on with their lives at some point and make money. And
Mhm.
I know my hairdresser is went to high school with Gia. So she was telling me
That's
all
fun.
these Gia stories today. And I was like, wait a minute, Gia sounds spicy. Like I'm kind of like into this new show. Like I'm not gonna hold how I feel about Teresa against Gia. I've decided. Like I'm starting fresh with her. Let's see
Mhm.
what she brings for this new show. Not that I hate
I've always, no, I've always appreciated Gia, um, as just how she's carried herself as we've seen on TV. I'm curious to see her. I want to say that her issue on Next Gen NYC is with Candy Burris's daughter, Riley.
right.
Um, I know that they have some tension, so I'm curious to see how it plays out, but I've always liked Gia.
Well, Riley seems like a straight shooter, and Gia, even though you like her, it's so funny. Somebody, I'm not going to say who, but somebody from the cast of Jersey once said to me, I was like, well, what about, Teresa's kids? Like they seem really nice. And this person said to me, like, no, they're not. They're money grubbing, spoiled brats. And all they care about is fame and money. And this is a cast member. And I was so shocked. I'm like, what? Like like they're not children. But
She must have really gotten that impression like
right. Like they were
hard.
like, all they care about is being famous and money. So they don't care. I think I'd said something like how, is Teresa worried about them around Louis? Like Louis's got some things about him that are a little bit,
Mhm.
he's a little
Shady,
volatile.
right?
And they said, oh, don't those girls object to somebody screaming at their mom or whatever the stories have been about Louis? And they said they don't care because all they care about is money and fame. And I was like,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
But if that's the case, then maybe better TV, right? Like the Valley
Right.
is
And in the
still
same, yeah, and in the same token, it's like if my life was shown on TV since I was 5 years old, I would feel entitled to, a little something too. So maybe that a lot of it has to come from that. But ooh.
well, let me just say that the Valley is filled with some of the worst people maybe on the planet, and it's amazing television. So if Gia turns out to be a money grubbing fame whore, then amazing for us because she's on a show coming up.
Right.
These girls at the hair salon were like, did you ever meet Kim Zolciak? And I was like, no, I have never met her. That's a good one, right? I've never met her.
I've never met her, and I've never spoken to her, but she'd be a fun one to meet.
That would be one. I mean, she's got to be a hot mess in real life, but I feel like her
Mhm.
daughters may have it together. Who knows? You can't be that crazy and your daughters have it together though. So, right?
No,
Like,
I'm trying to think of an example of who, like,
there's so many. No, I was Ramona's daughter. I met her at BravoCon.
Avery, yeah. I met her at BravoCon too. She was trying
She,
to sell me like a bachelorette
right,
trip
right.
package. I'm like,
Very lovely. She was lovely. So
yes.
speaking of BravoCon, Christina and I will be there at BravoCon for better or for worse, making complete asses out of us. Do you remember last year when I snuck into the venue the day before and filmed it and went live? And they
Yes, I do. I do. I want to say you were recording, right? You took a video of just the space and you were like, this is what
listen,
it's going to be.
I was checking out where the venue was because I wrote Captain Lee's show. We performed it at a casino and I was switching hotels from his hotel back to my BravoCon hotel. And I walked by the venue and I said, let me just check this place out. And there were a bunch of people who work there, like maybe cleaners, were walking in the side entrance. And I was just like, let me look. So I went in with them and no one said anything. And I wasn't even thinking like this is like, grand larceny. I'm just walking around. It was just, they were setting up all the stuff. And I went live.
That's what it was. Okay, yes.
Right. Because I was like, look, you guys, I'm inside.
It's one of those things where it's like better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
I literally, when I tell you swarm, like I was surrounded, oh my God, by like 5 security guards within 5 minutes. And they took my phone, they went through it to make sure I had it like saved the recording. I was like, I promise I didn't save it. I'm like, I'm just a poor girl from New Jersey. I don't know. My first time in Vegas. Like I thought that
I
conference
was
party,
wondering, I was looking for a bathroom.
I
That's
was
what I
like,
would have. Oh, where's the bathroom?
I was like, isn't today the first day of, no, never mind.
Scan my wristband.
And then the next day when I went to go pick up my tickets, I was like, oh my God, are they gonna be, am I banned? Like, is there gonna be a picture of me with a big red circle and a line through it? Like when I get up
You're like,
there.
is this going to scan? Right.
So I will not be doing that again this year. I'm gonna try to be a law-abiding citizen, not annoying, which is completely impossible. And I don't know, like you don't go live from the panels, right? When you're there?
I don't believe I did. I think maybe for the Ask Andy questions in the morning, I might have went live, but otherwise I was just recording so I could go back and tweak
Make
it how I wanted to. Right.
Right. I think that's a better idea because I went live the whole time because I was trying to show my followers who couldn't afford to go to BravoCon or couldn't make it there what it was like to
Right.
be there. So I went live for every single panel and it's so much work because you have to run, like there's panels that overlap, you have to get, and then you have to get a good seat and you have to, but people,
Yes.
you complain because you're going live like a moron with your little selfie stick. It's annoying. So I don't think I'm going to do that again. I'll just like you did, make a few reels here and there if I want to, or I don't know, go live from
Right.
dumb things. And then what about, are you going to do like the parties at night and stuff? What is your thought? What are your thoughts on that?
So last year I did the Charming House rules, Watch What Happens Live. I'm a Watch What Happens Live girly, so I was like, I
Right. I
have
went
to
to
make
that
one of the
too.
tapings. I didn't do any of the others last year. The one that interests me this year is the 20 years of Housewives, Watch What Happens Live. That one sounds fun. But I feel like if you have a VIP ticket, you not necessarily need the nightlife because you might meet the Bravo Labs during the day that will be at the night events.
Well, the thing about the night events though is that you don't meet anyone. You're just sitting in the audience. And for me,
Mhm.
it's like, well, I could watch that from home. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty tired from being at the conference all day, and then these night events are like, I'm on the fence because I did go to a couple last year, and I was like, the only good one that I did was that like last night party that you paid for, and then you got to meet
Right,
everybody.
right. That's what I'm mentioning. Yes, right.
It was super fun. I mean, you just basically are mingling with Bravo Labs. It's not as amazing as you would think because they're like up in these protected areas and they're surrounded by tons of people. And so it's not like they're like, hey, what's up? Like you're sitting at, chatting. But in
Right.
terms of like seeing a ton of Bravo Labs in the same place and drinking, and it was like a really beautiful rooftop bar, like that I would recommend. But the rest of it, I don't think I would go to those.
No, I did. I wonder if they're gonna have Kyle Cook do a DJ set because they had James Kennedy do one. I
For
went to
sure.
that. And I remember Tom, I want to say Jax even was there behind the scene. But I did do that night one as well.
Did you have fun though? I mean, to me, the idea of standing like in a club listening to a DJ is like, pins in my eyes. I don't know.
No, like 10 years ago, that was my thing. So I relived
Oh.
it with James Kennedy.
All right. Well, you guys, on June 6th at noon Eastern time, you gotta like download the app, like get in there, get your like account created, get ready to go because they sell fast. And then don't worry if you don't get one because they go on sale every couple of weeks. They sell like a little bit more tickets. And then you can always go on a resale group and try to get them because I think people had problems last year getting them. I don't think everyone who wanted to go got a ticket. I feel like it's
Right, I agree.
really
And
fast.
then Lisa put together her pages. I know she has a Facebook, she made a TikTok and an Instagram. And she has all of the tips and
at the BravoCon Facebook group, Lisa Hendrickson, Queen of BravoCon, also wrote a book, 72 Hours Unscripted, that you can buy on Amazon. If you really, I mean, honestly, guys, I would highly recommend studying up, listening to her tips. And actually, Lisa has a Patreon that if you pay for, and it's not a lot of money, where she has collected, I don't know if this is public information, but I guess it is now. She has collected a list of people who she's going to give early access to tickets, that Bravo has allowed her to give early access to tickets. So that's another little roundabout way to possibly get tickets is to DM Lisa, get on her Patreon, get on that little secret, not secret anymore, wait list she has, because getting early access to tickets is huge, right? Like that's big.
It's huge.
And
I know that they'll release single days eventually as well, because right now they just have the 3-day, I'd say 2 weeks, maybe not even, and they'll release single day.
Yeah, the single day again, though, it'll be the same thing where you have to be really fast, have to be able to sell out in a few minutes. So I would highly recommend joining BravoCon Facebook page because they resell on there and it's really legit and
Yes.
all on there talking about what they need or what they have. I mean, I'm buying a ticket and then hoping that I don't get divorced because of it. Because my husband does not watch Bravo. So it's going to be very hard to explain to him why I need to go for the third year to this conference. Last year I was selling books there, so there was a good reason. The first year it was in New York,
Right.
wasn't a big deal to travel, and it wasn't that expensive back then, so that was a no-brainer. But this year it's like, yeah, I'm going to Vegas. I don't have a show at a casino like I had with Captain Lee's show. I'm not
We
selling
have to
books.
manifest something. We need to have something tangible to tell him. Like,
I mean, I might go there and try to get people to buy tickets to my cruise, which I get paid like each person that buys a ticket for the cruise, I get money for. So it does behoove me to have a lot of people come on the cruise that I'm going to be
you can do
hosting.
that. Boost that. Plug that.
I still am hoping that they let me have an assistant so you can come with me.
That would be so fun.
Can you
And I
imagine?
would be the best damn assistant to every single person on that cruise. Hospitality is my thing. I'm here.
I'll mention you and they'll be like, maybe you should be her assistant because isn't she like a little bit more in the know than you? Like, who are you? The Bravo babe or your moms are watching. I don't know. I think we'd have to be equals on that cruise. I'm not sure they would buy you coming out as my assistant. All right. Well, it was so great to talk to you today. I love you. Everyone follow the Bravo babe, and we'll do some more bottle episodes like this. I'm loving just sitting here talking to you and having no pressure. You guys, when I sit and talk to myself on these, I feel really awkward. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get used to that. But I know Bethany said that on hers, her first few minutes where she just talks to people are her most popular segments. So I don't know.
There you go. Sometimes just your raw thoughts and rambling on.
Okay, love you. I'll talk to you later.
Love you.
Bye,
Thank you for
guys.
having me.
Okay, bye bye.